I didn't spend years building this neighborhood just to watch black families destroy it. Evelyn Hayes, Homeowners Association president, house, glares at Darius Brooks, a black man grilling chicken in his own backyard. Her finger hovers over 911. Ma'am, this is my home. I don't give a damn. Your kind brings gangs, drugs, and violence. Black families tank property values and drive out decent people. I'm calling the police because I feel threatened. She dials. His daughter stops playing as police get called on her father's barbecue. 3 squad cars arrive. 6 officers step out, hands on holsters. Then one officer recognizes him, snaps a salute. Evening, Chief. Evelyn just called 911 on Deputy Chief Darius Brooks. He can pull every call record she's ever made. Calls targeting black families, every lie documented, every racist complaint recorded. Darius Brooks just became the wrong person to target. Watch the receipts. Destroyer. Holiday weekend. Hickory smoke drifts through Oakridge, a Portland suburb where property values matter more than people. At Maple Street, Darius Brooks stands at his grill, turning chicken with the precision of someone who's learned small moments matter most. Deputy Chief of Police, badge, Portland Police Bureau, 3rd highest rank in a department of officers. Years climbing from patrol to this, a corner office where his signature can end careers or save them, where he oversees policy, reviews shootings, supervises internal affairs. But today, he's just dad. Darius and Serena Brooks closed on this house, their first. After years of renting, this 3-bedroom home cost every dollar they'd saved. Mortgage. Darius will be old at the final payment. He doesn't care. It's theirs. Serena spent arranging her kitchen exactly how she wanted. Island in the center, pots hanging overhead, windows over the sink to watch the kids play. Nia has her room decorated with precision. Scientist posters, alphabetized books, stuffed animals by size. She'll be an aerospace engineer. Darius believes her. Caden found 3 neighborhood kids of moving in. He came inside with grass-stained knees and declared it the best day of his life. This is what years bought this ordinary weekend. Darius doesn't advertise his job. Most neighbors don't know. He drives an old Honda Civic with a dent, no uniform on weekends, no badge visible. When neighbors ask what he does, city government, administrative work, they don't press. He prefers it that way because Darius knows what happens when people see the badge first, how conversations shift, how he stops being Darius and becomes Deputy Chief Brooks. Everyone's suddenly measuring their words. Here in this backyard with the sprinkler system, he's still learning. He's just a neighbor. Today's gathering is small. 3 neighboring families. The Washingtons, Terrell and Vanessa. They're twins who recruit Caden into cornhole. Tamara Reed, single mother. Her teenage son, quiet but polite. Mrs. Fletcher, who brought cookies nobody requested, but everyone will eat. Music plays at reasonable volume. Darius checks city ordinance first. Occupational habit. Kids shriek when the sprinkler turns on. Adults nurse beers and sweet tea. The sun angles toward evening. Darius flips a burger. Watches Naya teach Caden proper beanbag technique. Thinks, this is what I worked for. He doesn't see Evelyn Hayes watching from 3 houses down. Doesn't notice her at the window, arms crossed, face set in judgment. Doesn't realize she's reaching for her phone. Not yet. Evelyn Hayes crosses Maple Street. Not on the sidewalk. Straight line from her driveway to Darius's property. Purpose in every step. A Ring doorbell 3 houses down captures everything. The timestamp will matter. Darius sees her coming, sets down his spatula. Afternoon, ma'am? How can I help you? Evelyn doesn't acknowledge the greeting. She stops at his driveway's edge, arms folded. You need to shut this down immediately. I'm sorry. This gathering violates our community standards. You need prior authorization from the Homeowners Association for outdoor events. Darius keeps his voice calm. Years of training. Ma'am, this is a family barbecue. We have 12 people. Section of the bylaws states that gatherings under I don't care what you think you read. Evelyn's voice sharpens. I'm the president of this association. I decide what requires authorization. Serena joins him. We're happy to keep the volume down if Evelyn cuts her off. This isn't about volume. It's about standards. This neighborhood has maintained certain expectations for years. We don't appreciate people moving in and immediately disrespecting our way of life. The subtext hangs heavy. Everyone hears it. Darius's jaw tightens. His fists clench, then deliberately relax. Stay calm. Don't give her ammunition. Ma'am, we're not disrespecting anything. If there's a specific complaint, you want specifics. Evelyn pulls out her phone. Fine. I'm calling the police right now. That's not necessary. I'll decide what's necessary. There's a suspicious gathering at this address. I don't recognize most of these people. I don't feel safe with this activity in our family neighborhood. Those words. Suspicious. Don't recognize. Don't feel safe. Each one a weapon transforming a barbecue into a threat. Darius could stop this with 5 words. I'm Deputy Chief Brooks, but he doesn't. He needs to see how this plays out. What happens when he's just another black man? Badge locked away. Authority invisible. Evelyn's already dialing, speaking clearly, voice carrying. Yes, I need police at Maple Street in Oakridge. Large gathering of people I don't recognize. Multiple adults and children. The homeowner is being confrontational. I feel threatened. Yes, I'll stay on the line. She hangs up, looks at Darius with satisfaction. Officers are on their way. You can explain to them. She walks back to her property line, stands there, arms crossed, waiting. Darius's guests immediately start packing. Polite excuses. Only Mrs. Fletcher stays standing beside Serena in silent solidarity. Nia tugs her father's hand. Daddy, why did those police officers salute you? Darius picks her up. That's my job, sweetheart. I help make sure police officers do the right thing. Did they do the right thing today? Old, already learning the complicated answer. They responded to a call, honey. They did what they were trained to do. But sometimes we need to look at why the call was made. Later, after kids are in bed, after Mrs. Fletcher leaves, after the house goes quiet, Darius sits on the back porch steps. The grill is cold. Chicken sits uneaten in containers. Serena joins him, sits close. You could have told her from the start. I could have. Why didn't you? Darius stares at his hands. Because I needed to see it. How my officers respond when they think I'm just another black man at a barbecue. When the badge is invisible and all they see is skin color. And what did you see? Exactly what I trained them not to do. Right here at my door. Serena takes his hand. What happens? I pull those records. Every call Evelyn Hayes made, every address, every outcome. Because if she did this to us with neighbors watching, what has she been doing when no one's paying attention? Evelyn Hayes just weaponized 911 for the last time. Darius Brooks walks into Portland Police Bureau headquarters early because some work can't wait. His office overlooks downtown Portland. 3 monitors display computer-aided dispatch records. He pulls data most civilians don't know exists, but he can access with 6 keystrokes. Evelyn Hayes, Oakwood Drive, Oakridge. He starts with the call. Incident number. Caller reported suspicious gathering with multiple unknown individuals. Dispatcher classified it as suspicious activity. Possible criminal gathering. 3 units dispatched. Darius reads the dispatch notes, sees Evelyn's language. Don't recognize these people. Feel unsafe. This isn't normal for our neighborhood. Each phrase triggering response protocols Darius himself helped design. Then he sees caller has prior history with address-based concerns in this district. Prior history. He runs a search. Evelyn Hayes. All calls. The system loads. Numbers populate. Total calls. Darius pulls up a map function. Plots every address she reported. 6 clusters. He cross-references property records. Every address, families of color, every single one. Not random pattern. He clicks through individual calls. Loud music at Maple Street. Officers responded. Found children playing music. Well under decibel ordinance. Suspicious vehicles at Maple Street. Officers found family members visiting. Vehicles properly registered. Unleashed dog at Oakwood Drive. Officers found dog in fenced backyard. No violation. Gathering without permit at Maple Street. Officers found birthday party with guests. No permit required. Calls, 0 citations, 0 arrests, 0 actual violations, but police interactions. Moments where families had to explain themselves to armed officers. Times children watch their parents get questioned. This is what systemic harassment looks like. Not one dramatic incident, a pattern, a campaign. Officer Hayes delivers body cam footage, thumb drives, full reports. He places them on Darius's desk like evidence. Sir, we didn't know. I know, Hayes. Darius keeps his voice level. That's not your failure. What I need to understand is why dispatch classified it the way they did. Dispatch noted the caller's history. Multiple prior calls that elevated the response. You assume she was reliable because she'd called before, because she's HOA president, because she sounds credible. Hayes says nothing. Thank you for the prompt report. Dismissed. Darius reviews body cam footage, watches his own encounter from officer's perspective, sees the approach posture. Hands on holsters, tactical positioning, threat assessment mode. Sees the moment Hayes recognizes him. The shock, the salute. Darius saves the footage, labels it evidence file. His phone rings. Unknown number. Deputy Chief Brooks. This is Naomi Reyes, investigative journalist, Portland Tribune. I saw video of your encounter on social media. I'd like to talk about Evelyn Hayes. Darius pauses. Miss Reyes, I can't comment as Deputy Chief. I'm calling Darius Brooks, resident of Maple Street, as a private citizen who experienced what 6 other families have experienced. 6 other families at minimum. I've been tracking HOA enforcement patterns in Oakridge. Your incident gave me the missing piece. I have families willing to talk. Will you be one of them? Not on record as Deputy Chief, but as Darius Brooks' homeowner. Yes. They meet at a coffee shop. Naomi arrives with laptop and 3 accordion folders stuffed with documents. I started after a reader tip. The Washingtons. Do you know them? Terrell and Vanessa. Their twins were at my barbecue. They were targeted times. Evelyn Hayes calling about noise violations when kids played outside. After the call, Terrell filed a complaint. It went nowhere, but it put Oakridge on my radar. Naomi pulls out a spreadsheet. I filed FOIA, requests for all 911 calls to Oakridge. Took weeks. Then I mapped it. She turns the laptop. Darius sees a heat map. Red dots cluster around 6 addresses. Calls. 1 caller, Evelyn Hayes. 6 families targeted. 0 citations. Naomi taps the screen. Cross-reference with property records. All 6 families, black or Hispanic. First-time homeowners moved in. All in homes previously owned by white families. Darius studies the map. She's trying to drive them out. She's weaponizing 911 to make life unbearable, and it's working. 2 families already sold and moved, took losses just to escape. Naomi opens another folder, but there's more. HOA financial records, public documents. I found something in the compliance revenue line. She slides a document across. Darius scans it. Season fines collected fiscal year. Who paid these fines? The 6 families Evelyn targeted. Multiple violations each. Unauthorized gathering. Improper yard maintenance. All enforced by Evelyn Hayes. As HOA president, she has unilateral authority to issue violations, and the fines aren't small, to each. Pay within days, or the HOA can place a lien. Darius feels anger rising. Controlled, professional, but rising. This isn't just harassment, it's financial extortion. It gets worse. Naomi pulls out another document. HOA board minutes. Darius reads Evelyn's words. We need to maintain enforcement revenue to cover operational costs. Discussion of strategic compliance monitoring in transitional areas. Code words. Corporate language wrapped around discrimination. I've interviewed 4 families willing to go on record, Naomi says. The Washington's Tamara Reed called twice for suspicious vehicles that were her brother. The Crews called for construction noise when hanging picture frames. The Tate called twice for grass height over standard. She closes the laptop. I'm publishing, front page. But I wanted to ask, as someone with authority, what happens next? Darius considers. As deputy chief, I can review whether these calls represent appropriate use of emergency services. I can flag patterns to the district attorney. And as Darius Brooks, I can connect you with families. I can provide context. I can make sure the story has the detail it needs. Will your department back you? Some will, some won't. But I didn't spend years getting here just to let someone weaponize my department against families who look like mine. Naomi packs up. One more thing. I'm still digging, but there are indications the financial story goes deeper. Board member compensation, contract allocations. Something smells wrong. Keep digging. Darius says re-engagement. What Naomi uncovers will transform this from neighborhood harassment into something criminal. Stay. The financial receipts are coming, and they're worse than suspected. After Naomi leaves, Darius pulls up the list of 6 families, starts making calls. 6 families meet at Darius's house. They bring documentation, violation notices, fine assessments, emails from Evelyn with vague threats. Each tells their story. Pattern becomes undeniable. Mrs. Reed's son. I don't go outside alone anymore. Rather miss the sun than risk another call. Mr. Washington, we're software engineers. Never had a noise complaint anywhere else, but here, calls for kids playing. The Tate. We measured our grass twice, over standard. She fined us for of an inch. Darius listens, takes notes, realizes this isn't just about him. It's about every family Evelyn decided didn't belong. Darius calls the district attorney's office, Consumer Protection Division. This is Deputy Chief Brooks. I need to report a pattern of potential harassment and financial abuse involving discriminatory HOA policies. I have documentation involving police calls, 6 families, questionable fines, and evidence of racial targeting. The investigation is officially open. Evelyn Hayes made calls. Darius Brooks is about to pull every receipt. Evelyn Hayes calls an emergency homeowners association board meeting. Notice goes to board members only. No residents invited. No public announcement. Violating their own bylaws requiring advanced notice. 5 board members gather in Evelyn's living room. Coffee and pastries arranged. Minutes recorded. Everything documented. Everything designed to appear proper while executing retaliation. The meeting minutes obtained later through a board member who leaked them reveal the conversation. Evelyn opens. We need to address the Brooks situation before it escalates. He's using his position to intimidate this board and undermine our authority. Board member Richard Sullivan shifts uncomfortably. Evelyn calls. Maybe we should consider Evelyn cuts him off. I was fulfilling my responsibility. Every call was legitimate. The problem is Mr. Brooks weaponizing his badge to avoid accountability. Quincy Hayes, Evelyn's son, present despite conflict of interest, leans forward. Mom's right. We can't let them turn this into something it's not. We have rules. The board discusses strategy, legal exposure, media management, how to get ahead of the narrative. Minutes. Use careful language, corporate speak, sounding reasonable while planning retaliation. Decision. Send formal violation notice to Brooks' family for unapproved outdoor gathering. Fine. Due in days. Failure to pay results in property lien. The letter arrives via certified mail. Serena signs for it, opens it at the kitchen table. Her hands shake, reading the legal letterhead. The accusations, the threat buried in bureaucratic language. Failure to comply may result in property lien and potential foreclosure proceedings. She calls Darius. They're threatening our house for a barbecue. Darius drives home early, reads the letter 3 times, sees the game. They're trying to make him back down. Think he'll drop investigation to avoid appearing to abuse authority. We're not paying this, he says. Darius, it's a lien on our mortgage. What if we're not paying for having neighbors over? They want us to fold. We don't fold. But Serena's eyes are wet. This is our home. What if we lose it? Darius has no answer that makes that fear disappear. Meanwhile, Evelyn's attorney, paid from HOA funds, sends a letter to Portland Tribune legal letterhead. Cease and desist. Threatens defamation lawsuit if Naomi publishes. Claims invasion of privacy, harassment, journalistic bias. Naomi's editor calls her in. We need absolute certainty on every fact. Triple source everything. This woman has money and lawyers. 3 families get cold feet. We can't afford to fight this. What if they come after us harder? Down to 3 families willing to go on record. Brooks, Washington, Reed. Still enough for a story, but fear is working. Evelyn works the neighborhood door to door, tells her version. I've been protecting property values for years. Suddenly I'm the villain because I enforced rules. Some neighbors buy it. She has been consistent. Maybe they're too sensitive. Neighborhood divides on next door. Arguments explode. Some support Evelyn. HOA rules exist for a reason. He's using his badge to bully. Others support Brooks. Check the call logs. This is documented discrimination. Then ugliness emerges. Anonymous accounts posting racial slurs, quickly deleted but screenshotted. Saved. Evidence of what lurks beneath. Child Protective Services shows up at Brooks' house. Anonymous complaint. Children exposed to unsafe environment. Police presence indicates instability. The social worker is professional. Apologetic. I have to follow up. She inspects the house. Interviews Nia and Caden separately. Finds nothing. Closes the case, but damage is done. Nia asks why the lady needed to see her room. Caden has nightmares. Serena breaks. They're coming after our kids, Darius, our children. Is this worth it? Darius sits at the kitchen table reading HOA lien procedures. Legally, they can do it. HOA has broad authority. Fighting requires lawyers, depositions, litigation. Could cost to fight a fine. System designed this way make justice too expensive. His phone rings. Naomi Reyes. Don't give up. I found something. Bank records. Her voice carries urgency. Darius? This isn't just harassment anymore. This is fraud. The Brooks household has changed in ways that can't be measured in violation notices or legal threats. Naya's teacher calls. She's withdrawn in class, won't participate in group activities. She cried during recess when sirens went by. I'm concerned. Caden wets the bed again. Hadn't done that. Wakes up crying. Won't say why. Just clutches his stuffed bear and shakes. The curtains stay closed now. Even during the day, Serena doesn't sit in the kitchen anymore where she can see through the windows. The backyard, the whole reason they bought this house, sits unused. The grill collects dust. Serena's mother calls from Florida. Just sell it, mija. Come home. Is this worth your baby's mental health? Serena doesn't have an answer because she's asking herself the same question every single day. Darius leaves earlier for work, comes home later, buries himself in case files, policy reviews, anything that keeps him from seeing what this is costing his family. Avoidance masked as dedication. Serena knows it. He knows she knows it. Neither says it out loud. Evening. Kids finally asleep. Serena and Darius sit at opposite ends of the couch. The silence between them is new. They've been married. They fought about money, about his job hours, about whose parents to visit for holidays, but they've never had this silence, the kind that feels like distance. Serena speaks first. Look at me. Darius turns, sees his wife's face, really sees it. The exhaustion, the fear, the question she's been holding back. Look at our kids, she continues. Naya's afraid of windows. Caden thinks police are going to take him away. We saved for years for this house. This was supposed to be our dream. It still can be after we, what? Serena's voice cracks. Win? There's no winning this Darius. Even if Evelyn loses, we lose. Our kids lose. If we don't fight, she does this to the next family and the one after that. I know. I know who you are. I know you can't walk away when people are counting on you. But what about the people right here? What about us? Darius has no answer. Years wearing this badge, training officers on implicit bias, de-escalation, community trust, writing policies to protect people from exactly this kind of systemic harassment, and he couldn't protect his own family from the system he serves. He goes upstairs, checks on the kids. Naya sleeps with her nightlight on now. She's old. She's supposed to be reading chapter books and planning science projects and worrying about who's friends with who at school. Instead, she's afraid of her own neighborhood. Caden clutches his stuffed bear. His face still shows tear tracks from earlier. Old. Should be worried about learning to ride a bike and whether he gets dessert, not whether police are coming to take him away. Darius sits on the floor between their rooms. Thinks about the real estate apps. He's been looking at listings in other neighborhoods, other suburbs. Could be out of Oakridge. Fresh start. Pretend this never happened. His phone buzzes. Text from Terrell, Washington. My son asked me today why being black makes people call the police. He's old. I didn't have an answer, but I'm glad you're fighting. Don't stop. Another text. Tamara Reed. CPS came to my house too. Same anonymous complaint. They're retaliating against all of us now. We have to finish this. Another the Tate. Whatever you need, we're with you. Darius realizes this isn't just his family anymore. 6 families, children, all living the same nightmare. All depending on whether he keeps fighting or folds. He goes back downstairs. Serena's still on the couch, still awake, still waiting. I don't know if we're doing the right thing, he says. I don't either. She looks at him. But I know who you are, and I know you can't walk away when people are counting on you. Not enthusiasm, not even agreement, just acknowledgement of who she married. If we do this, we do it together, Serena says. No more shutting me out. No more pretending you're fine. I'm not fine. I'm scared. Scared I'm failing you, failing them. Then we're scared together. She takes his hand. But we don't quit. His phone rings. Naomi Reyes. Darius looks at Serena. She nods. He answers. I'm ready. What did you find? The financial evidence Naomi found will crack this case wide open. Trust us. You need to hear what comes next. Naomi's article publishes. Front page, Portland Tribune, full spread with photos and data. Headline pattern of 911 calls targets families of color in Oakridge HOA. Subhead investigation reveals calls, 0 violations in fines, all directed at Black and Hispanic homeowners. The article is methodical. Timeline data receipts, quotes from 4 families, photos of violation notices, graphs showing patterns, email excerpts revealing discriminatory intent. Goes viral within hours. Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, national outlets pick it up. NPR runs a segment. CNN mentions it. Comment sections explode with thousands of similar stories nationwide. This happened to us in Phoenix. Same pattern in Atlanta. HOA did this in Dallas. The pattern isn't isolated, but rarely documented this thoroughly. More Oakridge families come forward. Evelyn encounters they never reported because they felt powerless. Now there's safety in numbers. A community meeting is organized, local church opens doors, people show up, mix of residents, concerned citizens, media officials. Darius attends, still nervous. But seeing the room changes something. Tamara Reed speaks first. Voice shakes but doesn't break. I'm a single mother. When CPS showed up, I thought I'd lose my son. This isn't about rules. This is about who's welcome. Terrell Washington stands. I'm a software engineer. Evelyn called police on me for a suspicious activity. I was checking my mailbox. Story after story. Becomes an hour. Pattern impossible to deny. City Council member Desmond Hale sits in back. Decorated veteran, moderate Republican, respected voice. He stands. I've heard enough. This warrants official inquiry. HOA bylaws are subject to city oversight. I'm calling for a public hearing. His involvement signals legitimacy, not partisan, about right and wrong. Media attention means protection. HOA can't quietly retaliate. Evelyn's attorney withdraws. I don't represent civil rights matters. Translation: indefensible. 2 HOA board members resign, personal reasons, both avoiding liability. Evelyn is isolated, still president legally, but alone. She doubles down in newspaper op-ed. I stand by my actions. Safety first. Online response is brutal. Comments ratioed to 1 negative. Social media makes her a symbol. Weaponized 911. Systemic racism. HOA abuse, legal defense fundraiser launches, raises in days. Enough to challenge fines, fight liens, hire housing discrimination attorneys. Darius feels momentum shifting, sees it in Serena's face, sees Naya playing outside again, tentatively testing safety, but Naomi calls with urgency. The financial documents just came through. Darius, this is bigger than we thought. Much bigger. Naomi meets Darius at a downtown coffee shop, laptop already open, documents spread across the table like evidence at trial. Her expression tells him this is serious before she says a word. Bank records. She turns the screen. HOA general fund account. Annual income from dues. Annual expenses. Darius studies the spreadsheet. They're running a deficit. Covered by compliance fees and penalties. Look at the revenue line. She points. Collected in fines, fiscal year. But watch where it goes. She opens another document. Bank statements showing monthly transfers. Each board member receives per month labeled consulting fees. 5 board members, monthly, annually, of fine revenue goes directly to board members as personal income. Naomi says they're not maintaining the neighborhood. They're paying themselves. Darius feels his anger rise. Professional, controlled, but rising. They have financial incentive to issue fines. It gets worse. Naomi pulls out contract documents. Quincy Hayes, Evelyn's son, Oakridge Landscaping and Maintenance LLC. Annual contract. Sole source, no competitive bidding. Signed into Evelyn's presidency. Darius reads the contract, sees the scope of work. Lawn maintenance, tree trimming, seasonal planting. Services the previous landscaper provided for annually. Quincy's company charges double and delivers less. Multiple resident complaints about incomplete work documented in the meeting minutes. Quincy formed his LLC the same month the contract was signed. Naomi continues. Prior business experience, none documented in public records. Prior landscaping experience, none verified, but his mother controls the board vote. This is nepotism and fraud. Watch the money flow. Naomi traces it with her finger. Residents pay HOA dues. Evelyn issues fines to increase revenue. Quincy gets inflated contract. Evelyn lives with Quincy. The money flows in a circle right back to her household. Not technically illegal under Oregon's complex HOA law, but deeply corrupt, using HOA authority for personal enrichment, targeting specific families to generate revenue that feeds back to board members. Then Naomi drops the smoking gun. Email from Evelyn to board member Sullivan. I got this from the board member who leaked the meeting minutes. She slides a printed document across the table. Darius reads Evelyn's words. We need to be strategic about new residents. I'm not saying anything illegal, but we need to preserve neighborhood character before property values decline. You know what I mean? Increased enforcement on certain violations will send the message naturally. The phrases jump out. Preserve neighborhood character. You know what I mean? Certain violations send the message. Coded language, corporate speak wrapped around discrimination, but the intent is clear. Target specific families, make them uncomfortable, make them leave. Sullivan's response, agreed. Let's be careful how we document this going forward. Consciousness of guilt. They knew it was wrong. They knew it needed to be hidden. They did it anyway. This isn't just HOA abuse. Naomi says this is federal civil rights violation. Fair Housing Act prohibits discrimination in housing based on race. Evelyn documented intent to target families based on protected characteristics, plus potential wire fraud, using mail and electronic systems to collect fines under false pretenses with discriminatory intent. Darius processes the implications if we release this. Evelyn faces more than HOA removal. Criminal referral, federal investigation, the whole board could face charges. Serena's voice echoes in Darius's memory. She tried to destroy us. She tried to take our home. But Darius is measured. Justice, yes. Revenge, no. We do this right. Naomi closes her laptop. I need your permission to publish. This goes beyond the first article. National story, federal implications. Darius looks at the documents. Calls, 6 families, children traumatized, in fines, in fraudulent contracts. Years of systematic discrimination documented in emails, bank records, meeting minutes. Pattern undeniable, motive proven. Discrimination documented. Publish it. Darius says, all of it. Naomi's second article drops. Headline: Financial records reveal profit motive behind Oakridge HOA discrimination. Board members split fine revenue while president's son holds inflated contract. The article includes bank statements, contract documents, the smoking gun email with analysis from housing rights attorneys. Within hours, 3 separate investigations open. FBI Portland Field Office confirms reviewing information for potential federal violations. Oregon Attorney General's Office announces investigation into consumer protection violations and potential housing discrimination. IRS begins examining HOA tax-exempt status and board member compensation. Everything unravels fast. Evelyn's carefully constructed system collapses under the weight of receipts she never thought anyone would check. City Council chambers, PM. Room packed beyond capacity. Inside, overflow watching monitors. Local stations, national crews, live streaming. Councilmember Hale chairs. This is official inquiry into Oakridge Homeowners Association governance. All testimony is under oath and public record. Affected families speak first, minutes each. Tamara Reed's voice is steady. My 16-year-old son doesn't go outside alone. He's afraid in America because a woman with a phone decided he didn't belong. Terrell Washington presents spreadsheets, medical bills for his son's therapy. This is the cost of being black in Oakridge. Actual dollars. Serena Brooks speaks. We bought the American dream. We got a nightmare with bylaws. My daughter needed therapy to feel safe in her own home. Darius steps forward, full uniform, badge gleaming, not speaking as victim, presenting as law enforcement. I'm here professionally. These calls represent systemic misuse of emergency services. Each call tied up resources. 3 cars per call. Average minutes over hours of police time. He submits official Portland Police Bureau analysis. Conclusion: pattern suggests intentional abuse of 911 system for non-emergency purposes with discriminatory targeting. Recommendation: policy changes, potential criminal charges. Evelyn's turn, required to testify. Attorney present, but cannot speak for her. She's sworn in. Hale leads questioning. Miss Hayes, why did all calls target residents of color? That's not accurate. I called about legitimate concerns regardless of demographics. The record shows 0 calls about white residents. 0. Explain. I don't track demographics, I respond to situations. Hale reads the leaked email full text. Preserve neighborhood character. You know what I mean? What did you mean? Evelyn's face flushes. That was out of context. Property values are legitimate concerns. What context makes you know what I mean acceptable? No good answer. Your son received from HOA during your presidency. Conflict of interest. That was a board decision. But you voted for your son's company for double the previous rate. I disclosed the relationship. Hale produces minutes. No disclosure documented. You're under oath. Ms. Hayes, caught lying on camera. Public record, public comment period. Speakers, minutes. Overwhelming support for families. 1 white resident. I was at that barbecue. It was lovely. What happened after was shameful. Hale's conclusion. This council finds substantial evidence of discriminatory practices, financial impropriety, and systemic abuse of public resources. Recommendations approved unanimously to 0. HOA, board dissolution effective immediately. New elections within days, city oversight for months. All fines voided and refunded. Referral to Attorney General. Referral to federal authorities. Evelyn leaves before final vote. Cameras followed a parking lot. She doesn't answer questions. Gets in her Mercedes, drives away, but it doesn't matter. The vote passes. The evidence speaks. The receipts stacked too high to ignore. Holiday weekend. Later, Darius Brooks stands at his grill again. Same backyard, same recipe, same neighbors, but everything is different. New HOA board elected by residents, diverse representation, transparent processes, new policies require written warnings, mandatory mediation, public enforcement data. Evelyn Hayes moved out. No criminal charges, insufficient evidence, but 6 families filed joint civil suit. Settled out of court. Terms confidential but sufficient. Quincy's company dissolved. No other contracts obtained. Portland City Council passed citywide HOA oversight ordinance. Media called it the Brooks Act. Requires demographic tracking, annual audits, binding mediation. Oregon cities adopted similar measures. Nationally, conversation shifted. Legislation proposed in 5 states. But locally, healing continues slowly. Nia plays in front yard now. Still cautious, but playing. Caden stopped having nightmares ago. Serena sits in her kitchen, windows open. The neighbors gather. Mrs. Fletcher, the Washingtons, Tamara Reed, others who stood up. A police car drives by. The officer waves. Darius waves back. No tension, just neighbors. This is what victory looks like. Not perfect, but better. Darius flips a burger. A neighbor calls. Smells great, Chief. Darius smiles. Just Darius today. Grab a plate. Ago, a woman called 911 on the wrong barbecue. Today, the neighborhood gathers without fear. If this sounds familiar, if you've seen this pattern, speak up. Document everything. Connect with others. One voice is dismissed. A pattern is impossible to ignore. Share your story in comments. Subscribe for more investigations. Remember, Evelyn Hayes called the wrong barbecue. Make sure you're never the wrong anything just for existing where you belong.